Good morning YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we are going to be checking out my Plumerias, give you a little bit of an update on those guys. They're growing in the house here, and we are going to replant one together. It's gotten so big and it's in a small pot. Beautiful day here in British Columbia, hot today, summer is definitely here. Now let's show you outside for a second. Look at how beautiful that is. Not a cloud in the sky, it's just going to be another gorgeous day. Greenhouse is in super cooling mode, summer mode, shade cloth is up, everything like that. Today we're in the house, we're looking in at a south facing window. I brought the Plumerias in this year to just give them a little bit of a nighttime high boost. I'm just going to move you in a bit closer so you can see them here. These are my seedlings, they're 2 years old now. And yeah, they were out in the greenhouse for the winter time, and you know, about midwinter, I decided they're too cold out there, so I brought them in, and they have just exploded in here, doing really well. But some of them have done so well they've outgrown their pot, so I'm going to be repotting a few of them this year, and I thought I'd take you along for at least one of them. This one here in front of us is doing awesome. I just had to switch them around because they actually was starting to grow towards the light. Here, let me try to lower you a bit here so you can get a look underneath maybe. So they've just gotten massive. It gets hot in here. We have air conditioning, but we don't run it that often. We like to have the doors open, so it probably gets 28 Celsius in here in the daytime, and you know, your average nighttime low of 20 or so Celsius, and they have just been loving it. That in combination with the direct sun. Here, I think I'm actually going to just detach you all together, and we'll go from there. I'm going to get rid of the tripod. That way you'll be able to see a little bit better. So, as you can see, they're probably standing the better part of 30 inches now, some of them. Get right down to show you. Sorry about the backlighting. It is early morning, but I wanted to get a jump on this before it gets too bright. This guy here in the pink pot, he no longer even stands up on his own. That's one we're going to be working with today. When I planted these seedlings, this is their second pot. I planted them all in little pots to start with to germinate. And then after about, I don't know, a couple months, I took notice of what seedlings were doing the best. And I had an array of pots at the time, so I thought I will just repot the biggest seedlings in the biggest pots and the smallest seedlings in the smallest pots, which worked out fine for some but not for others. As you can see, this guy here, he's done basically nothing. He does have a double spike on him already though, so that's kind of cool. I put him in a big pot, but he did basically nothing. And this one here tells me from this little tiny pot that is in that it was a tiny seedling at the time, but it's grown into one of the biggest ones. So let's take this guy out. See if I can do this without knocking a bunch of them. So, he's in a little pot, and he's a good sized plant up there. So why don't we take this one out to the greenhouse, and let's pot them up together into something nicer and bigger. Alright, moved them out to the greenhouse where we have a little bit of space to work and where we can get dirty if we need to. Excuse me, left my coffee in the house though. So let's get started on this guy before it gets too hot. The door is open, all the fans are off, shade cloth is on, but it's still pretty bright. You can see even through the shade cloth the shadows that the pot is creating in the plant itself. Today we're going to be working with a mixture that looks like this, and what it actually is some potting soil, some perlite, some pool sand, and I'm just sprinkling it out here. Looks like that. The sun's actually working good for highlighting that. So a little bit of grit. I'm going to empty the rest of this in the bucket now. I just wanted to show you what it looks like. So that'll go in the main pot there. And then some turfus. And I just started playing around with this stuff this year. This stuff here is sort of a baked clay. Just a neutral pH, doesn't leach anything into the soil. Retains water but free drains at the same time. So I'm going to use some turfus in there. So we got the 4 ingredients: the perlite, the washed sand, the potting soil and the turfus. So now I'm going to put that in the bucket as well. And let's get started and see what this guy looks like for roots. We're going to be putting him in a 1 gallon square pot today. I had to have him staked up because he was actually so top heavy. I think the best thing to do is just turn him right upside down here. Hopefully you can see this. If not, I'm sorry. It feels really stuck in the pot. I'm just sort of massaging the pot. It's a soft pot. There we go. My little stick holding him up isn't doing much anymore. There is a good look at the roots for him. I'm trying to support everything at once here. I don't want to just hold him freely. So there's what he was in. It looks like it's just a perlite topsoil mix with some sand. So the only new ingredient is the turfus. But yeah, let's sit him down carefully here. And I'm just going to break this up just a little bit. Plumerias never seem to have a very extensive root system, and it is very, very fragile. So I'm just breaking it up just a little bit. It's going to do the rest on its own. I have the mix here in a bucket that I pre-mixed. Get rid of that pot. And being he was in such a small pot to start with, man, his root system is quite condensed there. So let's. I'm working with the mix fairly dry at the moment. There we go. Let's pour some of it out there. Makes it easy to work with that way. If it's already wet, it's hard working with mud. So put them like that. Put him back in the pot. And from here, I mean, it's pretty standard how we're going to backfill this. So there's nothing really that you're going to learn from that. But the key, I think, is with Plumerias, they really need a light, well-draining mix. So a good portion of sand in here, good portion of the turfus in here, good portion of the perlite in here. Between all the ingredients, there's more other ingredients than there actually is soil in here. And this is just a bagged potting soil. Nothing fancy like Miracle Grow. It doesn't have any added fertilizers in it or anything like that. There we go. And now I just got to give this guy a bit of a watering and he will be good to go. There is the finished pot and the finished plant. I feel better. He's now able to at least stand on his own without tipping over, especially once we get some water in the pot. So I think that's where I'm going to leave you for now. As I say, remember when working with Plumerias, you want a really well draining mix. So there's another close-up look of the mix with all the ingredients in there. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, updates on the Plumerias and everything else involved with my greenhouse, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to give him a drink of water and then go throw him back in the house so he can be with his friends. Anyways, thanks for watching.